Is ANA truly the best airline in the world, and are their flights from Japan to the US worth the insane price of $13,000? Let's find out. Today, we're flying from Tokyo to New York on ANA's first class. I spent 13 hours with the best flight attendant crew I've ever had, purchased an ultra rare bottle of whiskey only available on first class on a Japanese airline, and even managed to get a quick workout in 30,000 feet in the sky. So in this video, I'll cover the entire first class experience, from a full seat tour to the delicious food served on board, and I only paid $90 for this flight using points and miles. No kidding, just $90. So stick around to later in the video to find out exactly how I booked this flight. So welcome to ANA First Class The Suite with Mark. Our journey today begins at Tokyo Haneda International Airport, where the layout at check-in was a bit confusing at first. I couldn't actually find where first class check-in was until I found a literal red arrow that pointed me there. ANA offers a private check-in experience for first-class passengers, and there was an actual red carpet leading up to the doorway. Now, as I enter, you'll find there were only 2 ANA agents working at check-in, but the process was quick and easy, and I was in and out within minutes. Even though check-in is in the private area, you do have to exit anyways and go through security with all the other first-class and business-class passengers. So, the question you might be asking is, Mark, did you fly all the way to Japan just to fly ANA the suite? And the answer to that question is not no. So let's get to it. Now, before boarding, we got a quick look at our aircraft today, which is a Boeing 777-300ER. I'm also the kind of person that loves just walking right onto the plane, so I timed it perfectly this time, scanning my ticket as first-class passengers were called up. The jet bridge actually splits so that first-class passengers board through the first door and all other passengers board through the second set of doors, which helps with the exclusive feel of first class. At the door, 2 flight attendants and the purser were waiting to greet me, which really made me feel welcome on this flight. Now, as my flight attendant guides me to my seat, I couldn't be more excited to show you guys our very first look at ANA's first class, the suite. So welcome to ANA First Class The Suite, where the initial impression is this seat is the definition of what a first class seat should be. Not only is it sleek, modern, it has a ton of space, the entertainment screen right in front of me is a literal movie theater. The flight attendants in the service have been great so far. They've come and greeted themselves and introduced themselves to me, and I had my welcome drink within literally 2 minutes of boarding this flight. I've been here maybe 5 minutes so far, and it is phenomenal. So loving it so far. On your seat, you'll find your headphones and amenity kits. You'll find pajamas in your requested size and a set of slippers. You'll also find a leather-bound menu, this very thick pillow which was impressive, and your blanket from Tenerita. And safety videos don't get better than this because ANA has a partnership with Pokemon, so they have a Pokemon-themed safety video. And finally, we were pushing back from the gate. To add to all the cool little touches of this experience, the ramp agents waved us goodbye, which was peak Japanese hospitality. You won't see that anywhere else. And after a relatively short taxi on the runway, we were off, on our way to New York and saying goodbye to Tokyo. As we made our way to cruising altitude, an instruction video played showing us all the features of our seat. The crew then handed out hot towels, and let me tell you, this crew loved handing out hot towels because I received one basically every hour on this flight, which was great. So we're now at cruising altitude, and I initially thought I would have the energy to do a light meal service before heading to bed, but because we're leaving at midnight in Japan time, I am quite exhausted. So we're going to switch things up a little bit in this video, and we're actually going to do the lie flat and the sleeping mode first, and then we're going to do a full seat tour as soon as we get sunlight, so stick around for that. But first, let's start off with our brand new pajama check segment to see if they're too dusty to use or if they're actually usable on this flight. So let's check it out. Some context. Several months ago, I flew Japan Airlines' new first class, and opening up the pajamas released a massive dust cloud in the cabin that led to a brand new segment on the channel known as the Pajama Check, where we check the pajamas on each flight. Congrats to ANA First Class the Suite for passing the pajama check. Let's go ahead and put it on. I first put on the slippers, which were very comfortable and I kept on for most of the flight, and then the pajamas, and let me tell you, these were some of the best pajamas I've had in the skies. First class offers turn-down service, so the flight attendant was kind enough to prep my lie-flat seat. And as she's doing that, let me introduce everyone to the concept of kodawari, which in Japanese culture is the pursuit of perfection, or more specifically, an extreme attention to detail. Now, you may be wondering, Mark, why are you giving a vocabulary lesson right now? Throughout the video, I'll be highlighting how incredible the service was, and here's the first example. Do you see how the lie-flat seat is made right now? Every single time I got up, the flight attendants came by to reset the bed to look like it was brand new. The attention to detail of this flight attendant crew was absolutely insane. And with that, it was time to get a couple hours of much needed rest. After napping for a couple of hours, I wanted to see how dark it would be outside. Little did I know, I'd be absolutely blinded by the light, since apparently there was plenty of light already outside. Anyways, let's start the seat tour. ANA offers a massive seat in first class, which is rightly so nicknamed the Suite. The cabin has 8 seats total at a 1-2-1 configuration. I was seated in seat 2 kilo and there was only one other passenger, so I had half the plane all to myself. This seat is one of the longest first class seats in the world at 81 inches in lie flat mode, and the seat itself is made of a fabric material and has this leather headrest. On the window side, you'll find this very long side console, which will have your various seat controls, remote control from the entertainment screen, and this lever to move your seat forward and back. Above your seat, you'll find 2 reading lights that you can individually control, and a third light right next to the door. Speaking of light, I love the windows on ANA's 777, which features electronic blinds that were super easy to use instead of those auto-dimming windows found on newer planes. An even cooler feature is there's a master switch that controls all the windows at the same time. Now, as I'm clicking all the buttons to show you the different lighting configurations in first class, you should click the like and subscribe button down below for more flight content in the future, and thanks so much for the support. Each first class seat has its own coat closet, and here's a look at my clothes the flight attendant stored for me as I was switching into my pajamas. The seat has a dual sliding door which you can close by lifting the latch on each side like this. There's actually magnets where the handles are, making them super easy to close. And then, right next to your seat, you have a full-length mirror that was massive at almost a foot tall. Now, let's talk storage. Underneath your armrest, you'll find space for maybe your water bottle, and next to the entertainment screen is a pretty deep storage compartment as well. Underneath the side console, you'll first have a shallower storage compartment where I placed my valuables, and then a deeper storage compartment next to it where you'll find all your charging ports. It's very difficult to capture on camera the size of the entertainment screen, but at 43 inches, it's the largest screen available in a commercial seat. Finally, you can pull out the tray table by pressing this latch right here and flipping the table up. The tray table is a great size. It's longer than my hand and forearm in both length and width. Now, with this being first class, does ANA the Suite have enough space for a 40,000 feet workout? How about squats? Push-ups? Did you say jumping jacks? Maybe even sit-ups? Yes, folks, we can work out on ANA the Suite. And now with both sleep and the workout out of the way, and ignore the sweat on my brow, let's finally get started with the first meal service. Welcome finally to the start of the meal service, where we have a ton of courses to get through. Let's start off with the amuse bouche, which today we have ANA's original cinnamon ginger stick, lily bulb confit and mousse, foie gras ball, and smoked spicy cod roe. Very strong start so far. Very strong start. Very strong start so far, and my favorite dish of the amuse-bouche was the foie gras ball. My drink of choice was Krug champagne, which I didn't find out until after the flight was actually a $250 bottle of champagne. We are going to switch things up a little bit. ANA the Suite does have caviar, but it's only available on the international menu. So what I did was I asked the flight attendants if I could get the Japanese cuisine, which is the washoku, but instead also get the caviar appetizer that comes with it. And they were super happy to oblige, again, because there's only 2 people in this cabin. I'm sure they have lots of extras in the back. So for our next course, we're having the smoked Spanish mackerel and caviar. That appetizer with the mackerel and the soup was really good. I've never had that series of flavors before. The caviar was a really good complement to that, but really great. We're back to the washoku. We're back to the... Okay, so we are back to the washoku, which is a Japanese cuisine, and we're starting off with the appetizers, which was one of the many that we received. Up next is another soup dish. And we have the Nippon one, which is steamed grated turnip with sea urchin wrapped in tilefish. To be honest, I don't even think we're halfway done with the meal service. And I think this is appetizer probably number 34 at this point, which is the sashimi, which I'm very excited for. I just have to stop and say, that salmon, and I haven't even had the rest of the sashimi, was phenomenal. And I think you saw that with my expression. It was rich, it was fatty. I could probably do a whole plate of it if they allowed me to. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived. Not to New York, but to the main course. There is a lot of incredible dishes here, so let's start the sound off. Going from left to right, we have crab meat and mushroom, pomfret with miso sauce, miso soup, and simmered duck. When I was doing my research for this flight, I was always curious why the vast majority of other ANA the Suite YouTube videos out there were so majority just the dining service, and it took up probably 60 to 70% of the video. I get it now. It's literally a 7-course menu. I've been here for almost 2 hours, but it's delicious. No joke, this is one of the coolest desserts I've ever seen on a flight. This dessert is a forêt noire or a black forest cake. That forêt noire, and I'm probably butchering the name of it, was easily, and I'm talking easily, the best dessert I've ever had on a flight. That's true restaurant quality, and I'm probably gonna ask for a second serving if they have extras later. So to end the meal service, and yes, we've hit our final dish. It is the kanmi, which is the confections, which includes agar, cut fruits, adzuki bean paste, and matcha syrup. Also, before I had this, the purser recommended that I have this dish, which is generally very sweet, with some ceremonial grade matcha, and she was kind enough to show me the proper way to drink matcha with this bowl. So I was really grateful for that experience and for her to take the time to explain it and to show it to me. It has been a phenomenal meal service, and I cannot highlight that enough. Each of the dishes was quality, it was flavorful. I genuinely enjoyed every single dish, and actually after the purser gave me this dish, she even asked, do you want ice cream, do you want coffee, do you want anything else? So she was fully ready to just keep serving and giving me food. I will have to take a break after this because I am quite full, and we will have other segments of the video we have to get to, so let's dig in. And you know what? Instead of you watching me take a bite of our 7th course, let's just appreciate how beautiful our world is and this gorgeous sunset. Very special moment, folks. Today I have with me Hibiki's 100th anniversary blend whiskey, which is an extremely rare Japanese whiskey that's actually not available for purchase on the retail market, but on the resale market it goes anywhere from $1,800 to $2,000 is the lowest price that I could find, and other resellers are selling it for much more than that. It's kind of insane. You have to fly a Japanese airline in first class to have the opportunity to purchase this bottle. Now, you're asking, what did I purchase this for? I purchased this bottle for just 50,000 Japanese yen, which at the time of filming this video was $335, literally a fraction of the price and the opportunity to buy this bottle. So let me know down in the comments, is this bottle of Hibiki whiskey worth $335? Let me know down in the comments. Now let's deep dive into the entertainment screen on this flight. So it's actually very difficult to capture on camera just how large this entertainment screen is. So let's do a couple comparisons. It is 1, 2, 3, 4 Mark and Fonte heads long, and it's also 1, 2 Mark and Fonte heads tall. But I'm a reasonable person, so today we have a 14-inch MacBook Pro, and let's go ahead and use this for comparison instead. We have about 1.5 MacBooks tall and 3 MacBooks wide. The IFE had a pretty solid movie selection, but also had cool features such as these flight cameras, which unfortunately it's too dark to see anything outside, and your flight map. Moving to our Star Wars check, weirdly enough, ANA had Star Trek but not Star Wars, and for our Lord of the Rings check, ANA has no movies either. Now these aren't your typical in-flight headphones, folks. ANA offers Sony XM3 noise-canceling headphones, which may just be the nicest headphones I've ever had on a flight. And with that, let's start the second meal service. With about an hour and a half left on this flight, I went ahead and ordered my final meal service. You can order food up to an hour and a half before landing, and for my final set of dishes, I chose ANA's udon noodles, and then I got another plate of the foray noir, which they do have. And as I'm eating my final meal service, let's discuss the highlights and the lowlights of this flight. The first and the top highlight of this flight is going to have to be this service. This is easily one of the best flight attendant crews I've ever worked with. My personal flight attendant, Emiko, she also goes by Emmy, was phenomenal. One moment to highlight is we initially thought there wouldn't be any of the Hibiki whiskey for sale. She went and double checked and dug through the plane in order to find a bottle, and I was able to purchase one because of her. We also had a fantastic chat about her career as a flight attendant, my experience flying all of these planes, the different routes that ANA has. So huge thank you to Emmy and the ANA flight attendant crew here. I also wanted to thank Yoshita, who was my other flight attendant on this flight and was also fantastic. Highlight number 2 is going to have to be the food. If I had to do a true ranking of the sets of menus that I had at each of the airlines I've flown, this cuisine is easily top 2. It could be number 1. And the final highlight of today's flight is going to have to be the seat itself. When I look at ANA the suite, I think this is the literal definition of what a first-class seat and experience should look like. It's a shame, to be honest with you, I didn't get to enjoy the entertainment screen as much as I could because I was obviously filming this flight, but just top-notch superstar seats. This is what first class in the skies should be. And then came one of my absolute favorite moments of flying ever. The flight attendants brought out the foray noir and put a special message. Thank you for flying ANA, and this cutest sticker ever, which I'm gonna go ahead and keep. It's over. Best flight ever. If the cake wasn't incredible enough, the flight attendants gave some souvenirs for me to take home, including an ANA puzzle, a flying Hanu sticker, and even a flying Hanu balloon. No, but seriously, this is incredibly sweet, so thank you again to the flight attendant crew. Before we fully wrap up this flight, I did promise at the beginning of the video to explain how I booked this entire experience for just $90 using points and miles. So I used 120,000 Avianca Life miles and $90 in taxes and fees in order to book this flight. So the way that works is Avianca and ANA are part of the same airline alliance. What that means is ANA will share some of its award availability over to Avianca, so you can book on Avianca in order to fly on ANA. So that's how I booked this experience. As we approached New York, the flight attendant actually buckled in my bottle of Hibiki so it wouldn't fall during landing. So many people may never sit in ANA first class, but at least my bottle of Hibiki did. Those of you who have made it this far in the video, a huge thank you to you guys. My question is ANA First Class the Suite the world's best first class? And if not, which one do you think is? Let me know in the comments down below and I'll make sure to respond. Now, before we go, Japan's other main airline, Japan Airlines, recently released a brand new first class that might be able to compete with this experience. Feel free to click this video right here to check it out. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys in that video.